Oh, mute microphone. Is this on? Oh man, I don't think this is on the whole time. Hold on a second. Oh man, I've had this thing on mute the whole time. Oh my goodness. Let's start this all over again. Hello, hi, and welcome, folks. My name is RPJ, and this is the RPJ Show Live. I'm your host, RPJ, and by way of Johnathan Steele, this will be maybe my last show because I am too dumb and I have not figured out how to open the chat room. And I've asked people how to do it. I think that I see I know how to do it, but apparently no one else is writing in this chat room other than myself with a / symbol. Folks, I've been on the air for about 15, 16 minutes, and I just realized that I had a mute button on. Thus, no one could hear me. Thus, people came in and didn't leave in because they couldn't hear me. So again, I am wasting time, and if I'm not doing this right, and though I'm taking it seriously, I'm taking suggestions seriously as I wear collared shirts and stuff like that, and I try to do a better job and take this really seriously. Again, I am not on my P's and Q's. I am not dotting I's and crossing T's. And I might have to let someone else produce the shows underneath the Johnathan Steele moniker that I trust, and then come on as a different persona, as a different channel person, like the RPJ show or whatever, and come on and speak on my channel, on my Google Cast with someone else producing it, so that they can open up the chat room. Because I don't know how to do it. I think that I do it, I'm doing it, and apparently it's not. No one's writing in it, so no one can get in it. I see me. All right, anyway. I'll have someone do this with baby steps with me at some point. And this may be the last show I do until I can get this thing to work. And folks, one of the reasons why I decided to come back on today, and I did have a topic called Black Girls, but I did have a reason why I wanted to do this particular show. And I just found out not too long ago, this morning, recently, that the divine dummy straddled one of her sons at some point in the last couple of days. This to piggyback off a situation where a black mother, got a stripper for her 8-year-old son for his birthday, sexualizing these young boys. These are what single black mothers are doing. These are what single black mothers are having their little boys and little girls twerking. Well, mostly little girls twerking. But then their moms are twerking in front of these little boys and girls, sometimes inappropriately dressed. We see this all over YouTube. We see this all over social media. We've seen this in real life, right? I think it's disgusting what Divine Dummy is doing with her children. I don't understand how actually, I do understand. And there's a lot of this mindset about not having great care or great concern or great nurturing for a black child by the black mother stems back to slavery. Hold on a second, I need some water. I'm trying mouth. And again, not again, you have to understand, the black slave woman, did not want to be in the field picking cotton in the blazing sun. She desired to be the bedwench of the white slave owner. She desired the white slave owner, and thus having an easier gig, just having sex with him and sometimes being rewarded with gifts and stuff. So if the black woman would get pregnant by another black male slave, she would know that that kid would be property of the white slave owner. So thus, she should not have great care for that child because she won't have control of it. I mean, it would belong to the white slave owner. Now, if she got pregnant by the white slave owner, then she would definitely care about that mixed child because it's a representation of owner, and she would value that. She wouldn't value her own kid, her own black child with another slave, a black slave male, but she would value the mixed kid that she would have, and hopefully she would still get favors. This is the same mindset of today. There's been no evolution. There's no great care of the black child by black mothers. You see, folks, if they really cared about their children, you would see that they would have a plan. They would have a husband and blind, or a relationship and that's already lined up for years, and the thinking process of having a child. They plan out having a child, but this is rarely done. This is really done by lots of people, lots of races. But the black mom, because of the culture, the hip hop rap culture, brought on by the record companies that are owned by white people and Jewish people, there is an agenda to keep black people as meatheads, as consumer, as sexual beings, as yo, I just, you know what I'm saying? I got this, but don't have a pot to piss and don't have a bank account. I got my rims, you know what I'm saying? But don't have a college fund set up for their children. Don't have and that's all just perpetrated towards a black community that's poor. LeBron James and Michael Jordan sneakers, yo, and then you hear the record companies and the music, bad music, did it, bad music playing nonsensical nonsense. I mean, this is terrible. The music today is just terrible. And I'm saying some old fuddy-duddy. Oh, I remember when music was music. No, I'm not doing that because I'm progressive as anyone else. I don't mind technology. I don't mind the evolution of music. But I heard one rapper was just, did it. I mean, it just didn't make any sense. It was the worst thing I've ever heard. Wayne's awful. He's terrible. Drake is, I think he's so great either. I think that his look, I mean, I don't understand this. Everything just seems so watered down and terrible. And they are just into a black community that is hell bent on having the latest footwear, having the latest hairstyles. But there's no nurturing of the children. We're not nurturing our children. We're not keeping fathers in the household. We are not caring for our children. And one of the things that I used to watch all the time when I was living in Brooklyn, New York, and I would get up early in the morning because I was a personal trainer and training myself. I used to look at the window and I would watch how many mothers would cross that one busy street and their children would be behind them. And that shows you that there's no care, not enough care for those children, because no child should be behind their mom crossing a busy street like Bedford Avenue, where there's nothing but cars and traffic that time of morning. And I see children always behind their mothers. Very rarely would you see a child side by side with his mother, or a little bit ahead of his mother, in front of his mother, very slightly. I wouldn't even dream of having my children walk behind me when they were little. That would seem so crazy. And you know what, the funny thing is, I've been saying this all along since 1990 and before. I always said that black fathers care more for their children than black mothers. And I only said that through me seeing that, recognizing with my own eyes. I didn't have any facts, but I just saw the amount of fathers or baby daddies, that some of those guys were baby daddies, that how much they care for their own child. So here we are now, 2016, and the Divine Dummy. I speculated the other day that the Divine Dummy was fingering herself, unfortunately, laying down and having a naked baby lay there right next to her. There was one point where she was adjusting her head, her upper body, and I swear to you, I'm not trying to be sensational here, but it appeared to me that she was going to put her mouth on Jacob's penis and masturbate at the same time. Now, I know that's outrageous for me to say, but that's what it appeared to be was going on. That's what I thought was going to happen, but Jacob shot up so fast because he's been in that situation before, and he was not going to be. He said, "Whoa, wait a minute! This feels like something that's happened to me before, and this is going to be uncomfortable." And he shot up right away, very fast. It doesn't make sense. Her mom would put her son, a 3-year-old boy. It's not like he's a few months old. He's 3 years old. Why would you put any 3-year-old naked in bed, sitting up right next to you while you masturbate? You got to answer these questions. I mean, and she has now come out and denied it, but she's already admitted to doing it. It's on video now. So how's she going to deny that she was even doing that? I wish she would speak the truth. The fact that she even masturbated around her children shows you that maybe these moms are over-sexualized and they are projecting onto their children. And maybe there's some kind of incestual thoughts going on here by some of these black women, some of these black moms, definitely by Jamila. Now, I don't want to keep calling her out, but when I heard this morning that she straddled her son, again, I was highly disgusted. And this, again, comes on the heels of a mom getting an 8-year-old boy a stripper. And I just don't, I don't understand a stripper, first of all, looking at an 8-year-old boy's face and saying, I am going to turn this 8-year-old on. By looking at an 8-year-old's face, it's like looking at a 5-year-old's face, a 3-year-old's face. I mean, it's nothing close to adult about that fucking kid. He's little as fuck anyway. He's not even a midget size. But as a stripper, she probably just took the money. But she, in that video I saw, I think or Johnny H, that video. Yeah, I think it was Johnny H. So go check it out. She was just gyrating and shaking her ass for this 8-year-old boy. But what is the mother thinking? Mom got this stripper for her 8-year-old son's birthday. Isn't that perverse as shit? I am going to look these people up. I am going to look this mom up, and I will reach out to them. I will let them know that I would check them out. I definitely will do so right after this Google Cast, and hopefully someone reaches out to me so that I can have help and open up a chat room, because I'm, again, very, very stupid. I'm sorry, I shouldn't say that. I'm not stupid. I just don't understand how to do it. I hit the button and I see the chat room open and I just can't do it. But yeah, I was really disgusted, and I just don't understand how the black moms are sexualizing their sons and daughters. You got little girls, 5, 4, 3, 7, twerking twerking with mom, sexualizing, doing stripper moves, because that's what twerking is. It's being, gyrating your buttocks in a sexual fashion for the stripper client. It's not really dancing. It's just gyrating for the client of the stripper. It's disgusting. And they have little girls doing that. You got moms doing it scantily clad and doing it in front of their sons and children. You got now you got women, and I'm sure this wasn't the first time that the divine dummy or this black woman has masturbated next to her children. I'm sure this is not the first time, and it won't be the last time. And I swear to you, I'm not trying to be sensational at any point here, but if you look at that video, and I want you to go to my videos and look at it, it's the divine dummy fingers herself. Go check out that video, and you will see the divine dummy brings in this Jacob naked from, I guess he was in the shower or in the tub. She brings him out naked, lays him flat on his back. She immediately lays right next to him, nearly on top of him. She starts to finger herself from behind. And I swear to you, it looked like she was adjusting her upper body, adjusting her head. And I swear to you, it almost looked like she was going to put Jacob's penis in her mouth while she was masturbating. I swear to you, I'm not saying this to be sensational. This is the appearance that she was giving. And I'm sure this wasn't the first time, but immediately Jacob knew and recognized that he was going to be in an uncomfortable situation again. And he immediately sat up, said, "Mom is not going to do it again. No, I'm uncomfortable in this setting." And he started staring into the camera, staring into the computer and looking at himself. And I swear to you, that's what it looked like. That's what the appearance was. It appeared that this was a situation that has been happened before, and she was going to put her mouth on that little boy's penis. And I swear I'm making this up to be sensational. I'm not trying to even dig at her anymore. I actually wish I could stop talking about her. But one thing about the divine dummy, she is a manifestation of mental illness that is populating the black community in all corners of the black community. Mental illness is just going through the roof. And now there's a bit of, because you have to also remember too that the divine dummy was at an early age sexually assaulted. It wasn't by the way she says that her mom let men go into her room and take advantage of her sexually. No, I don't believe that. That sounds absurd. But yeah, I do feel that the divine dummy was molested or sexually assaulted at some point in her early childhood. Thus, having her at a preteen, teenager, late teens, early 20s, go out and be more perverse in her sexualization. Having orgies at 12, 13 years old outside at her grandma's house. This is what was going on. She abuse warp her, and it's not her fault, but she decided that she was going to go out and be a sexual being and have, because of the disorders as well, she's going to be a sexual being by having orgies with a bunch of boys in the neighborhood, a bunch of boys wherever she could find. She was going to get her attention. And she has warped sex. She has warped the assaults that happened against her as into something that she now says that she can use to have friendships or have attention from these boys. This is part and parcel of that. And then you have the disorders, borderline personality disorders, that has now aided her. Now she just uses sex as a weapon, as a tool to manipulate. However, she is highly sexualized, and I don't know, is it from the, I don't believe it is for the right reasons. I believe that is because of a disorder, because of some damage that has been done to her, that she is wildly inappropriate with sexual. The fact that she would do that in the same room as a child is problematic. But to do that while right next to a naked child sends all the wrong messages. And where do you look like she was going to adjust her body? She was adjusting her upper body and her face and mouth, that she was going to put Jacob's penis in her mouth. And it wouldn't be the first time, by the way. But the fact that Jacob recognized that he was in an uncomfortable situation, he got immediately into the camera, looked at the laptop, and saw his face in the situation. He stared at himself, and I am just so saddened, because that's nothing that CPS is going to do. CPS refuses to take out a black child that is damaged by a single black mother. They refuse to. They will not do this at any cost. And then especially the fact that the foster parent killed a child not too long ago. So being said, they already have a rule about not taking a black child out of that is being damaged by a single black mom. They refuse to. They already refused to begin with. Now double that. CPS has an agenda, or has the rules and regulations that they will not impede the black child being fucked up by his black mom. They want black children to be destroyed. They do. And plus, they don't want the responsibility of a foster parent. They put in a black child foster parent. But again, I don't mind having these black children damaged by a black mom. The Divine Dummy is a representation of that. She's representation of mental illness in the black community, of in that community, of ratchetness in any community, of any community. Economically a disadvantage of any community. Divine Dummy is representation of all these things. So I can use her to point out that wrong in our society. There's a lot of things wrong in the black household. Divine Dummy, you know, the funny thing is, Divine Dummy admitted on my video, on that video. If you look at my video called Divine Dummy Fingers Herself, if you look on that video and listen to that video, you will clearly hear that, yeah, she got caught masturbating, and she's apologized. She doesn't apologize. But now, a couple weeks later, she denies that it even happened. And this is a problem. And the problem here, it's not, I shouldn't say a problem, but the ongoing situation is that the Divine Dummy is a constant fucking liar. All she does is lie. She has not an ounce of credibility. Not any, no, you can't believe anything she says. Look between the lines to figure out if she's telling the truth. And again, she misreads, she misinterprets. She has done that her entire life because of her disorders and her. It's funny. On Monday, I had what is it? Monday? I think Monday. the show. I produced the show, but it was god awful. You couldn't hear anything. The sound was wonky from start to finish. It was no breaks in nothing. It was just an awful show, and I immediately deleted it. It was terrible. But one of the things that I talked about is that the truth has come to light. You know, the cream will always rise. Yeah. The rocks, shit will always fall to the bottom or disintegrate. But what? But will always produce itself. The more and more that you are out, put yourself out there in the public, the more your character will be exposed. The truths will come through, whether you read in between the lines or not. Yeah, I got a dry mouth. Now, I saw that the Mike Mills called out Cat and on some, I guess, little lies. And I couldn't believe that Cat may have lied. It doesn't sound possible, does it? No way Cat would lie about things. And I'm not going to say Cat, by the way. Again, any situation where I pick anyone to be my friend and we're no longer friends, I'm not going to dump on anyone like that, because again, it shows no character to take advantage of a person that you know inside information on. That is not cool. It shows no character, and just not going to do it. Now, people will do this against me, but I'm pretty proud of my character and who I am. And yes, I was helping out my son, my son and daughter-in-law and that family when I started talking to Kat. But again, I'm not going to dish on Kat. I like Kat overall. I think she has done decent work, and she has done a great job in tearing apart a couple of people, although I saw that she is kind of friendly with those people now, which is, a little concerning or disconcerting to me, because I can never be friends with someone with bad character. I just won't do it. That's why guys like, I'm not going to sit here and do a name stuff with ratchet people. But my point is that the truth will always shine in the light. So people need to be careful of the things that they say and do in the magical world of social media. You need to take responsibility of everything that you put out. You need to take these things a little bit serious, even if you're just being silly and joking around. You need to think about the big picture of what it is that you're representing. Someone's going to see it, and it's either going to cost you or going to give you praise. So just be careful out there, folks. Watch your truths and don't get exposed by being a liar, because you're going to lose credibility like a mother effer. Excuse my cursing. And you don't want to be a divine dummy with no credibility whatsoever. You don't want to be someone that tells lies on people. You got no proof. You got no. You don't have big enough. You don't have enough credibility to just have your word taken for granted. I mean, you find a few jackasses that definitely won't believe in those people's lies, so that they will have something they can point their fingers at. But again, there's no proof. There's only a little bit of credibility against maybe someone else's full credibility. And that's what I'm going for. It was, despite my low numbers, or my medium numbers, I know that my audience views me as credible source, as a genuine person. Because if a lot of the people know me from Facebook, and they know that I will speak out the truth, whether it makes me look good or not, or maybe it makes someone look bad or not. I'm just going to speak the truth, and I'll speak personal, and I'll speak from an emotional, mental standpoint. And I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I'm not going to lie to myself. And yeah, so I think a lot of people have seen that in my videos. I'm just going to be authentic and genuine. That's what I say to you guys. Just be authentic. Don't be a liar. Don't try to be something that you're not. Don't be a tough guy and you have your knuckles bleeding. Don't be that. Don't be a fake tough guy. Don't be a fake rich guy. Don't be a fake player or pimp. Just be yourselves. And I tell you, you will find an audience. And you don't have to speak on stuff. I know ratchet stuff is train wreck theater, it's Jerry Springer theater, and it brings the crowd, it brings the mob mentality, yada, yada, yada. I'll copy all that. But I think that you should try to build up a credible platform that people will take you seriously, and or somewhat seriously, and you can build upon that. That's what I'm trying to do. And despite the fact that I, again, still have not opened up the the chat room, although it looks like I have from what I see, I have to give control of this Johnathan Steele page to someone that I can trust, because I'm not doing it right. So I want to be able to see my audience tell me stuff, be funny with me, tell me jokes or say something outrageous so that I can laugh at, say, agree with me or disagree with some of the things I'm saying. Or even take me to task on something that I have said once before. If I do that, I don't think I do that, where I contradict myself. Because I try to be straight up and down. I'm not a great liar. Thus, this is why I don't lie, because then I have to memorize the lie, and I have no interest in that. But back to the Black woman sexualizing her children, her sons. I am going to get that video of Divine Dummy straddling her son. And I'm going to put it with the other video of the stripper gyrating for this 8-year-old boy from Johnny H. Check out that video and check out that. And I am going to look that woman up and see what is the dealio. Not saying. My girl hates when I do New York hip hop talk. Nah, I mean, yo, nah, saying. Nah, I mean, she hates when I do that shit. I like to do that when I just don't feel like thinking. Nah, man, fuck out of here, yo. Nah, I mean. Nah, I mean. I do, and not to, again, keep talking about the Divine Dummy, but I do understand the trolls, and I applaud them in a sense. All the De Niro reds, orange, blues, white screens. I applaud you guys. I know that you guys are just egging Divine Dummy on and manipulating her into doing stupid, ratchet shit, like getting naked and showing her butt and vagina, showing pictures of her 20-year-old butt and vagina. It doesn't look anything like that nowadays. Just putting that nudity out there was great manipulation on your guys' part. If she's going to be out here in the public like that, if she's going to be out here embarrassing herself anyway, you might well have the proper, you might well order the kind of entertainment that you want from her. You might as well manipulate her into doing something so outrageous that it further embarrasses herself and you guys are more entertained. I like it. I love it. So I don't take you guys being as enablers. I don't take you guys as enablers. I take you guys as someone just taking advantage of a woman that's going to embarrass herself anyway. Because I do realize, and I have realized, that a lot of people do not actually support her in her ideologies and her philosophies, the things that she is doing about abandoning her kids. For now, this is the second time she has done that, to be in another state, to be closer to a man that clearly has no one of her. So, damn, I got a dry mouth, excuse me. So I know, I realize that a lot of you guys are just watching the train wreck, just manipulating her to do more outrageous, stupid shit that she's going to do anyway. So I applaud you guys for being able to manipulate someone that is a constant manipulator herself. So one of the problems that we have in America is the fact that Black girls don't seem to have an outlet, aren't propelled or pushed one way or the other at an early age to have things, to go out into the world and to conquer this, that, or the other, to be part of this, that, and the other. Black boys will have sports that they can be, people will push them out to, thus having an out from those. There will be go play basketball, softball, or football. They're pushed to do these things, and then you'll have league games or organized sports. This isn't so much with Black girls from these poor Black communities, or below poverty. Well, poor. So this was brought to my attention that what do we do with Black girls? There's no big ad campaign to help out Black girls, to have Black girls propel themselves to in either sports or music or dance or whatever. There's no big push that's going on in America to have Black girls do something, be a part of something. And I think this is a good time. But again, a lot of this comes all the way back to the fact that the Black household, and much like a lot of households where there's a high divorce rate among white people and Black people, it's a high divorce rate. But in a lot of situations in Black community, nearly 75% of the situation is a child out of wedlock. And most of the time that child will have an estranged parent, and that's the problem of the Black community or poor Black communities. The estranged father that's been kept at arm's distance by that mother, being set up a lot of times by the government and that mother to have a child so that mom can have a career by being on the welfare and child support, and to further hamstring that Black man. And at the moment he doesn't pay, he goes to jail and probably loses his job. I think that's the best payoff if he can't afford it. If he loses his job, that doesn't really help him economically. It doesn't even help the child. So if you throw him in jail, you are further damaging that black man, and furthermore, you will be damaging how that child will have access to money if that doesn't come in. So I think the system is a little flawed. It doesn't make a lot of sense. But this is the system that's been put in place, and it's been okayed or checked off by black moms, black women. They have checked this off and saying this is okay. This is how we screw over these fathers, these daddies. And there seems to be no shame whatsoever. The fact that you can not be the fact that you can have a one-night stand, get pregnant, but go on with the pregnancy and to have a child by having a nice stand. I mean, there seems to be no shame. If you were to say this stuff in the 1950s and 60s, and those women were shunned by the community. The fact that she would have a one-night stand and without her husband, that woman would be shunned. She would be mocked, and she wouldn't be invited to the games. She wouldn't be invited and be part of the community. She would be an outcast. That son and that kid would be a bastard, a true bastard. But nowadays, I think it's a badge of honor just to have a child. If you have a child, you will have automatic proof that someone has sex with you and possibly been in a relationship with you. And so for some women, for some black women, based on their looks, they need to prove that they had a relationship once, that someone sexualized them once. So they want to prove that. Sometimes, in a lot of cases, a career is being a baby mama, and they will be getting on the system on where, and they will be getting child support checks as well, a week or bi-weekly or whatever. They will be getting this check. That's their career. And the system, government already will give them food and a nice house, a good place to live, or a spacious place to live for them that will cover their size of family. But those women will, again, their job will be just to be baby mamas. And they will keep constantly getting pregnant. And this is what the government has done. This is how they have sustained a black community that is cannibalizing itself. So the lack of shame, lack of integrity by poor, incestuous communities, like some black communities, has a lot to do with the downfall of the community. The fact that you can have these people who are in these terrible situations with the record companies playing this god-awful music that will only talk about the consumerism and the destruction and the body parts of a man or a woman. Will sexualize every aspect of every song, of every person. The fact that this is done in these communities, and these people still going out and watching Love and Hip Hop, Black Bad Girls Club, these reality shows, Real Housewives of whatever, they will watch all these god-awful bad character shows. And the worst ones are the ones where I seen, and I only watched them to make sure that I knew what I was talking about. The worst in that behavior and the white reality shows, there's some bad character stuff. There's some flawed character stuff. There's some illnesses and among those situations, granted, without question. But I have seen some of the most disgusting things that I've ever seen in Black reality shows. What's that one? The gay guys, the dancing, what's these guys called? The dancing fairies, fairy dancers, prancing elite, prancing elites, I think. Anyways, these are a bunch of gay guys that want to have dance competitions with women, but they're all guys. They're all gay men. And the gay agenda is alive and kicking. And this is, of course, being force-fed into a Black community. The effeminate, insecure, sensitive Black male that's being raised by his selfish, insecure Black mom, single Black mom, has now been bombarded with the sexualization, the homosexualization of the prancing elites, Lil Wayne, Obama, allegedly, maybe, probably, possibly. There's an engagement now as marriage, down low men that are totally more sexual in jail than ever before, in prison than ever before. They will willingly have sex with another man and just call it, it's just prison stuff. That doesn't count in the outside world. And I say, of course it does. Your sexuality is a direct response of character, in a sense. So yeah, your sexuality is important, no matter where you go. It should be important to that person. If you have a flawed sexual sexuality, and again, that's interpretation by other people. If I interpret my sexuality as great, that's how I look at my own sexuality. But for those guys that are down low and definitely having sex with men in prison and just calling it, what goes on in prison stays in prison, and then go back to being a heterosexual in the real world, no, that's a problem there. The fact that you are lying about it, that you are keeping those things a secret, that's a problem. And that there's it has a direct bearings on one's character. So maybe don't think about that. There is something character flawed about hiding one's sexuality and being on a down low. But this is what's being bombarded at the Black community, folks. This is what's going on. The gay agenda, the effeminate, the bad music, the consumerism of music, of what music is being put out there, the objectifying of body parts and butts, and having women going out and Black women going out and getting butt implants and butt injections and breast implants and lip implants, and some people even dying for them. Some people even getting maggots in their heads for women to wheeze and they won't pull out, but their heads are infested with maggots. I've seen a few of those cases. I've seen a few people because of how things have been broken down in the Black community, They are now bald because of the many weaves and that they have worn. And I don't believe that black women don't do this for the black men. They don't put weaves in for the black men. They put weaves in so that they can compete with white women for white men. Or they simply want to look like white women. They want to be a counterpart to white women. This is why they are throwing these weaves out. This is why they are the body parts. And again, I've always said that the insecurity of a person will make them go out and put these body parts in them. I don't feel like I need to do anything other than be myself because I'm secure who I am. Whether I lift a lot of weights or lift a little bit of weights, I am definitely secure with my manhood, with my sexuality, with who I am as a human being, as a parent, as a father, as a lover, as a partner. I'm definitely secure with myself. Thus, I don't need any improvement from a plastic surgeon, or even though I'm ugly as sin, I'm not the ugliest guy I've ever seen, but I'm okay with how ugly I am. I'm okay with my bad looks. I don't care. I mean, I do care, but I'm not the ugliest guy I've ever seen, and I try to make best I can with what I have. I try to stay in shape. Definitely try to keep the weight off. These days, I've been going on a less weight type of thing, but I definitely want to keep the body fat at a lower percentage. And yeah, I want to definitely be in shape, be powerful, strong enough to defend myself and to perform in various aspects of life. So that's why I don't do it for vanity. I do it for practical purposes of use. You know, it's a funny thing, and I just started it now. I just saw and I can talk about Divine Dummy all day long, but I just remember that she actually had the nerve, the audacity to talk about weight loss program, that she has this great weight loss program that she did for herself, and she will offer to the client, to the public, for of course, the remedies to weight loss. And I believe that her weight loss was drug fueled, that she took a lot of drugs, not had a lot of money for food afterwards for gluttony purposes. And I believe that she smoked a lot of weed, maybe some cocaine and some meth. She has already admitted to staying up a few days in a row. So that's what meth can do to a person. Ice can do to a person. And I don't put it past her. The fact that she comes from a crummy community to begin with, she still has that inside of her. She's a crummy person, an empty person on the inside. She doesn't feel anything. So yeah, drug usage will be something that is part of her life. It always has been, it always will be. So she is full of shit with her weight loss program. She lost weight because she didn't have enough money and she was doing lots of drugs and staying up. She wasn't exercising, doing it properly. Had she exercised, she would have been able to not lose the elasticity of her breast. She would have had these muscles tightened up here by doing girl push-ups. You got to do these things to tighten up these chest muscles and keep that breast in place as best and as long as you can. She didn't do any squats or iron mics. She didn't do any sits or crunches. She didn't do any knees to chest or back leg lifts or box. She didn't do any of those things. She just did a lot of drugs, a lot of weed, so maybe some meth, maybe some cocaine, and she didn't have a lot of money for gluttony of food. So that's her weight loss program, and I don't think that she is going to be. And if she says anything other than that's how she did it, she's a liar. And of course, people know she is a always liar. I haven't reached out to her yet from behind the scenes. Again, I am really disgusted by her lately, not as of lately, but over the last month or so. I've just really been just bothered by her and her disgusting behaviors and mindset. Smoking on top of that child in that room, smoking right next to the child, smoking while the kids in the room, breathing secondhand smoke. It's like, you just don't give a fuck about your children. You just don't give a shit about your child. There's no nurturing. Instead of being on fucking Google Hangouts for 8 to 10 to 12 hours, why don't you hang out with your youngest son and do talking, read a book to him? Especially if I had a kid that wasn't speaking in sentences, I would read all the time. In fact, that's what I was doing with my own grandkids. I was reading to them all the time. And I was being characters so that they can enjoy books and being part of the characters, being a part of the book, getting into it. But, and I don't think that I'm being special. I don't think that that's anything special. I think that's what you do to help facilitate education as a fun thing. And yeah, I think big picture about my kids and grandkids. I think about what I can do to nurture and build them up, and not let them live in fear. I mean, they're young, so they can't be responsible for their own lives, but I do think about these things all the time, and they aren't even my children, but everything is mine. So they're my children, but everything's mine. You know what I mean? My kids are mine. But I will, of course, not work separately from the parents. I will work among them and offer my ideas, my support, my thoughts on how one should go about doing certain things in certain situations. Ultimately, it's the parents' job all the way. And my kids happen to be really good parents. I'm glad they picked up some of the things that I did with them. I think that, at times they display a little bit too much anger and they verbalize too much anger. And maybe they need to not verbalize the anger so much by keeping it cool and talking more as the kids will get older, talking more about the pros and cons and why they did this and why they did that, and having them answer those questions and start making them a little bit more and more responsible. You can have a healthy kid and a kid that's taking responsibility of his life at a faster rate at an earlier age. This will be a benefit to that kid. Now, I didn't know that I was going to be talking about parenting and grandparenting, but yeah. So the fact that the divine dummy can't really see herself and see these situations, I know what, I'm not going to just say her, Black women like her, Black mothers or mothers in general in America or even all over the world. But let me speak specifically of a Black community that I am fully aware of. I mean, I think about white women that I have dated that are totally unaware of who they really are. They so don't get it. I dated a woman like that. She truly did not see herself. She could not see the immaturity of herself, the silly little kid shit of herself, the insecure, um, the vanity of herself, how lame she was. She couldn't see these things. I saw it in her nearly immediately. I actually thought I actually at one point thought she was going to be cool, and that what I'm think that I'm seeing is just the spontaneity of her. That's going to be the childlike enthusiasm. It was what I first thought. A few days more, and I realized that it's immaturity and lack of self, lack of knowledge of themselves. And I knew that situation was not going to last. And my only fault with that is that I was trying to be of impact to the kids. And I didn't want to be like a passing guy going in and out of their lives. I was trying to make an input so I can be a help, because one of the kids was being bullied, and I wanted to be a presence to help build that kid up. But yeah, I've seen white women and be in situations where they just didn't see themselves. And the dummy cannot see herself in a lot of ways. And I am very concerned, and what I said before, I mean it wholeheartedly. I know I have a little bit of credibility. I definitely am concerned about the sexual aspects of what's going on in that household. I don't believe that was. I don't believe that woman was being inappropriate for the first time. I think this has something that's gone on a few different times. This is what I truly believe. I am definitely concerned about the sexuality of children and what is being done to them by that woman. I am definitely concerned. And I am really concerned about those girls, the teenage girls, when they at some point be in front of their mother and be raised by the mother once again. Will be a little bit concerned about the physical assaults against those girls, because she was doing this prior when the girls was just growing up. But then now those teen girls have a weapon now that they have the ability to call the authorities, and the divine dummy don't want any part of that, especially if it's done by the kids in that household. That's the only way that the authorities will listen. They will listen wholeheartedly by someone in that household, and that's something that I will try to maybe reach those kids in that sense. And of course, I don't say this willy-nilly. Getting rid of someone that's going to be there for you, well, sorry. If that was a normal case, then I wouldn't have this problem. But yeah, it's going to be hard for anyone to give up a parent, but but if that parent is hurting one of you guys, one of the children, one of your siblings, then that parent is no help to you. If that parent is damaged a few of you, then that parent has not been of service to you. You copy what I'm saying? Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth? Or do you, punk? I don't know. There's not, again, I spoke about this before. There's nothing that we can do that would reach that woman, that on a logical, on a mental, on an emotional level. There's nothing that the Joe and Susie Public, right? Is that John and Jane Public? Is that it? Anyway, John and Jane Public, there's no way of reaching this type of woman. You can't reach her from a logical and mental state. You can't reach her from an emotional state. There's no way of reaching this woman to have her understand, to comprehend, to apply certain things, certain ideas. She just won't do it. She finds that as an insult to even have something mentioned to her as even as an adjustment. She has no interest and there's no emotional attachment to these children. Not that she doesn't care about them. She may care about them. She may love them, but there's no great parenting. There's no great time spent with them. There's no nurturing. There's no great going over flashcards with them. There's no going over homework with them. There's no talking to them. There's no sharing their feelings or ideas. Being not only a parent, but sometimes being a friend and listening to them. But you have to be a parent as well. You have to be stern, and you have to have them slowly. It's because they're teenagers now. You have to start letting them know the consequences of their actions. You have to let them know that they are responsible for their lives starting from now. And everything they do that is a mistake, they must take responsibility for and learn from those things. And one of the things that I'm going to be doing now is that one of the girls, I don't know which one, it has been contemplating wanting to be pregnant. And this is a byproduct of their mother, who has idolized babies and having babies, and has spoken so openly about having a baby again, another baby, and these babies, and that has seeped into one of these girls' mind, and she wants to have a baby and have something that will love her unconditionally, and hopefully that I don't see what she's going to get out of it. I mean, she's going to get being loved unconditionally by her child, but she won't be able to bring anything to that child to help that child out. There's nothing that she can bring to the table to help that child out. So she wants to be loved unconditionally, and that's something that parenting. The fact that she got no nurturing, the fact that she was kept away from her father for long periods of time, the fact that she was abandoned twice from 2007 to 2010, and now 2015 to 2016 so far. She has been abandoned by their mother. And there's a wanting of having emotions, of wanting to be loved because they don't feel like they've been loved. That's why she wants to have a child. She wants someone to love her unconditionally. That's it. That's it in a nutshell. And this is so you have to have that child take responsibility for her life and let her know the consequences of having a child and a child that has no resources of her own. The fact that mom doesn't have any resources to even help teen daughter out is a problem. Mom has nothing. Mom doesn't have a pot to piss in, nor a window to throw it out. So if mom is just as bad as daughter, then daughter should not even contemplate these things. But you have to, as a parent, you have to start parenting your children, your teens, as they are responsible for themselves from this point on. They have to know the ramifications of everything that they do, and it's not going to be, you can't let them off the hook if they take the wrong path. If they fuck up, you have to not enable them. You have to let them go through it, and hopefully they learn from it. And you have to be there to not be mean about it, but just tell them the facts. you do this, you're going to be fucked. And if you are fucked, you have to take responsibility for it. You have to pay that bill. You have to adjust and learn from this situation, learn from this mistake, and try to apply it moving on. Try to apply it if the next situation occurs. You know what I mean, Mike? So yes, my concerns are great because I think there's a bit of sexualization going on in that household. I think it's been going on, and I know it will continue to go forward. And I'm concerned for little Jacob, like I've been concerned for the daughters, and as I've been concerned for the oldest son. I've been concerned. I am sure. Well, I'm not sure 100%, but I do believe, based on what I saw and what I sense now, that maybe it's probable that these kids, the other three kids, have been at some point sexualized by their own mother. I truly believe that. And that's a problem. And I find that disgusting. I also find that she is capable of assaulting the girls because she resents the girls, knowing that she has to compete with them. That's her direct competition, is what she feels. Younger, prettier versions of herself, thinner versions of herself. She really doesn't. She don't want any part of that. She can't stand that she will be competing with her daughters, and she can't stand that they are inner without the baggage, without the hurts, although they have the not feeling love, and of course that's a byproduct of her bad parenting herself. So they do have some hurts and some baggage, but they are younger, prettier, healthier version of who she is, and she hates them. She resents them. She might love them from a standpoint of, these are my kids, I love them, I have love for them, these are mine, but she resents the hell out of them. She truly does, and this is why she has abandoned them so easily and as often as she has, as for as long as she has. This is not so cool, and I am concerned. But what is really concerning me is the fact that I'm unable to open up a chat room, and I'm going to I'm going to have to get someone to work with me to open up my chat room from my page in order for me to come on to my platform and speak. Because if I can't do this, then, I mean, it's bad enough that I'm going to have to give up control. But if I can't get this done, then I'm not going to be doing this. I've been taking everything seriously. I'm applying some of the suggestions already, as you can see. So with that being said, folks, I'm going to call it a show. I'm really concerned. If you guys can think of anything to help facilitate some change in that situation, some to fix a adverse situation, to have a proper response or reaction to something that is going on in that situation, please write that down in the comment section, or please apply it yourselves. So, folks, that's it, folks. My name is RPJ, and this has been the RPJ Show Live by way of Johnathan Steele. And it's been a pleasure, folks. I really thoroughly have enjoyed doing these Google Casts more than I thought I would. And hopefully I haven't bored you guys to tears. I know I've screwed up with not having a chat room. And I probably will lose a lot of momentum, but once I get the chat rooms open, I will rebuild my momentum, and I hopefully will flourish. Anyway, folks, this has been a pleasure. I'll see you later. Bye-bye. Later.